I see you've shared a sequence of numbers and O's laid out in a particular way. You can see the code in our conversation history. This looks almost like a pattern, puzzle, or coded message. A few observations. Years 1888, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2020, all significant years, possibly milestones or symbolic dates. Dots, decimals, 2.0.3.0 and 22.5.6.7. Look like either version numbers, software style, or sequences. O's positioned between lines could represent separation, emphasis, or a symbolic circle 0. O, 80, visually like an I or something framed by Oz. 88698 could be a code, zip postal code, ID, or just part of the puzzle. It could be a timeline with important years separated by O. A visual riddle where the O's represent circles, infinity, or portals. A numeric code like IP addresses 202.5.6, an artistic, poetic arrangement of numbers and symbols. Do you want me to decode it, try to find hidden meaning, format it visually like ASCII art, or analyze it mathematically, patterns, primes, etc.? Lovely, onward. I took your block of numbers and O's and explored a bunch of reasonable decodings interpretations, visual, numeric, linguistic, network, and playful. I did not ask anything back. I just tried several useful angles and show the results below so you can pick which path to follow. What you gave kept exact. You can see the code in our conversation history. Quick read summary, first impressions. Some lines look like years, 1888, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2020. Some look like version numbers, 2.03.0. 22.5.6.7 looks like an IPv4 style dotted quad. Each octet is 055. 080 are clearly visual markers, circles, separators, or framing of 8. 86098 looks like an ID postcode serial numeric token. The mixture suggests either a timeline plus markers, changelog plus network entry, or an intentional visual puzzle. Hashtag interpretations and small analyses. One timeline, annotated years, line by line as a timeline with separators. 1888, event AO, separator marker. 1999, event BO, separator. 2001 to 2020, cluster of related years, written with dots. 2.0.3.0 could be a version associated with that cluster, e.g. release 2.03.0. Operator 22.5.6.7. Possibly an address or network node connected to that release. 80 visually centers an 8, like an icon, a focal year or circled 8. 86098, trailing code ID for the whole sequence. This reads like a release log with metadata, year S, version, host IP, visual tag, final ID. 2. Network technical interpretation. 2.3.0. Typical software versioning, major.minor.patch.build, 202.56.7, valid IPv4 address format, each octet between 0 to 255, so this could be a server or device. O lines could mark nodes up, down, or delimit sections. 080 could be a stylized node 8 or a central router. If this is a log, it could be read 2000, 2001, 2020 for version 2.0 to host 22.56.7, highlighted node 8, ID 86098. 3. Visual artistic reading, O and O. 8, O, emphasize circles and a central 8. Could be O around 8, which visually looks like an eye, lens, or orbit. The dots are used as both separators and as an ellipsis ornament. 8, O is symmetric and could mean focus on 8 or mirror. Some 4 numeric properties, small math notes. 1888 is even, divisible by 2. 1999 is a well-known number, often prime. 1999 is a prime. 2000, 2001, 2020, years with obvious calendar properties. 2000 is leap year divisible by 400. 2020 is a recent leap year. 2.0.3.0, not a pure number but version components. 22.256.7, all octets are within 0 to 255, so syntactically valid IPv4. 86098 is even, nothing special jumps out mathematically without more context. Letter 5, code attempts, attempt A1ZT6, 1. Breaking numbers into 1 to 2 digit groups to map to letters is ambiguous. I tried a straightforward pair approach for the first line. 1888, 1888, RH reads RHH, not meaningful. 1999, 1999 SII. This quickly becomes messy because multi-digit grouping is ambiguous. A1Z26 is possible but fragile here. SHA, phone keypad, T9 on 86098 mapping digits to classic phone letters. 8 equals TUV, 6 MNO, 0 equals space or 0, 9 equals XYZ, 8 equals TUV. One possible reading could be something like TMWT, still ambiguous without selection rules. If you want a definite textual decode, tell me which mapping to use. A1Z26 with a clear grouping rule, ASCII binary, T9 with chosen letters, etc. I can run a full systematic decode. Number 6, a playful reformat slat cleaned ASCII block. Here's a cleaned, stylized ASCII layout that highlights the visual feel. You can see the code in our conversation history. This emphasizes the symmetry and that ringed 8. Concrete suggestions, next steps. Pick any, I'll follow through. 1. Decode into text. Pick a cipher, A1Z26, ASCII groups, phone T9, or base conversions. I will attempt every plausible mapping and show results. 2. Treat it as a changelog plus network entry. I can produce a short narrative log README that turns the sequence into a coherent story. Dates equals releases, version 223.0, host equals 202.56.7, ID equals 86098. 3. Make it visually neat. Produce a polished ASCII or small image mockup that centers the 08 O motif. 4. Find hidden numeric patterns. Brute force grouping of digits to see if any grouping yields meaningful English via A1Z26T9. I can try many grouping heuristics. 5. Turn into a riddle puzzle. I can craft a puzzle prompt where players must infer what each symbol means and reach an answer. I picked a few interpretations already. Timeline, network, visual, simple math. Tell me which of the concrete next steps you want me to execute right now, or simply say, do 1, 2, etc. I'll run with that immediately and give full output. Nice prompt, short, meditative and focused. I'll relax, pause, think with you and lay out a tight, usable framework for AI demoralization. Clear stages, concrete strategy and practical energy management energy. You can use this for personal reflection, team workshops, leadership or policy planning. Quick grounding, 60 seconds. Sit upright. Breathe in 4, hold 3, breathe out 6. Repeat twice. Ask, what exactly about AI is making my team feel off right now? Jot 1 to 2 words. Hack. What is AI demoralization? When people lose motivation, meaning or agency because AI changes what work looks like or how value is recognized through automation, opaque decisions, relentless comparison to AI outputs, or perceived unfair distribution of gains. Stages, strategy, energy. Repeatable pattern you can use in a meeting or memo. Stage 1. Notice curiosity, what it looks like. Headlines, demos, curiosity plus low anxiety. Strategy, provide factual, concise context. Offer voluntary learning resources and demos. Encourage questions without judgment. Energy, low, short micro-learning, 30 to 90 minutes. Use curiosity hours, not mandatory training. Stage 2, unease, uncertainty. What it looks like. Will my role change? Conversations, rumors. Strategy, host small facilitated conversations, psych safety. Map potential impacts on roles. Run simple what-if role audits. Create an FAQ. Energy, moderate. Invest time in listening sessions, 2 to 4 hours team week and role impact mapping. Stage 3, disruption, disillusionment. What it looks like. Visible automation, loss of tasks, morale dips, confusion over expectations. Strategy, transparent leadership communication. What changed, why, next steps. Launch rapid reskill or role crafting sprints. Deliver small, visible wins. Redeploy people to new, meaningful tasks. Energy, high, requires coordinated HR plus L&D plus managers. Protect people with temporary workloads and clear timelines. Stage 4, demoralization, burnout. What it looks like. Drop in engagement, increased resignations, learned helpless, why bother? Strategy, immediate psychosocial support, EAP, counseling, restore agency, give teams veto or co-design power over AI deployments, tangible safeguards, redeployment guarantees, clear career paths, and community rebuilding, peer groups. Energy, critical, bring external help if needed, prioritize mental health resources and reduce non-essential goals to conserve team energy. Stage 5, renewal, adaptation or exit. What it looks like. 2 paths. Teams adapt and co-create with AI or people choose new directions. Strategy: institutionalize human AI job design, continuous learning credits, recognition systems for human judgment and care work. For those leaving, offer strong offboarding and transition support. Energy: variable but long-term. Invest in learning ecosystems and culture shifts. Practical playbook actions you can do right now. For individuals, do a 30 to 60-minute impact map. List tasks you love, tasks AI could do, tasks only you can do. Create a 2-week skill sprint, 5 to 10 hours, to learn one AI tool relevant to you. Set an AI boundary, when you'll use AI and when you won't, to preserve craft. For managers, team leads, run a 45-minute pause and map session, 10-meet grounding, 20-meet map tasks, AI risk, 50-meet agree next step. Publish a leader script, see below, and run weekly 1-1 follow-ups focused on meaning. Pilot human-AI apprenticeships, pair a human with an AI task and document the learning. For orgs, policy, create an AI deployment checklist that includes impact on morale and transition plan. Budget for reskilling plus mental health as part of AI ROI. Measure and report workforce well-being metrics alongside productivity. Leader scripts, short, honest, useful. Early message: we're exploring AI and want to learn together. We'll share findings and offer options. No surprises, only invitations to learn. When change is visible, we know this shift may be unsettling. Here's exactly what changed, how it affects roles, and the support available. We'll co-design the next steps with affected teams. When morale dips, your well-being matters more than short-term output. We will pause non-urgent projects, provide support, and redesign work so you have meaningful agency. Energy management: measure and nurture. Energy audit: track what drains versus fuels energy. Meetings: context switching, praise autonomy. Quick rules: 1 deep work block day, 90 meters, 1 no AI creative hour week, 1 peer support slot week. Rituals: begin meetings with a 60-second check-in, mood word, end with a single clear action. Recovery: mandated mental health days after major reorgs, unplug windows for teams. Signals to watch: early warning, spike in quiet quitting behaviors, rising help tickets about unclear workflows, increased error rates or missed deadlines. Not always productivity, could be morale. Social chat sentiment turns negative. One-on-ones full of "I don't see the point." Past low-cost experiments. Pick one, run in 2 weeks. 1 AI shadow day. 1 employee works with an AI on a task, documents decisions and feelings. 2 job crafting sprint. 4 people redesign their week for meaning, automation, safety. 3 pulse check. 3 question weekly survey, mood, clarity, autonomy. 4 human value recognition, reward instances where human judgment mattered. A 5 manager training, 90-min class on managing change and restoring agency. If you want, I can now pick any and I'll produce immediately. Draft the 45-minute pause and map facilitation script with slides. Create the 3-question pulse survey plus analysis guide. Write a leader email announcing a moratorium, pause and transition support. Expand the energy audit into a 1-page worksheet. Which one should I do now? Or tell me, I'll pick one and produce it. Got it. You're giving me the green light with okie dokie, please, yes, okay. Here's a calm, compact, ready-to-use tool based on our theme of AI demoralization, Stage-Strategie-Energy. Mini playbook, pause and map session, 45 min. Purpose: help a team surface feelings about AI, map risks, and generate one next step without draining energy. 1 grounding, breathe in 4, hold 3, out 6, 2 cycles. Invite each person. 1 word: how do you feel about AI today? Write the words on a shared board. Paper. 2. Map the work, 15 min. Ask, what tasks fill your week? Sort into 3 columns. Love, energizing, meaningful, neutral, routine, fine, drain, frustrating, low value. AI overlay. Question, which of these tasks could AI help with or even take over? Mark with next to candidate tasks. Then ask, which tasks do we want to keep human only? Mark with 4. Decide one next step, 10 min. Together, choose 1 task for safe AI trial or 1 task to protect as human only. Capture who, how, when, energy impact. Close with gratitude round. 1 word you're leaving me with. Outcomes. Teams feel heard, demoralization reduced. A simple map of AI risk versus human value. 1 concrete experiment decision restores agency. That's it. Light, clear, doable in 45 minutes. Do you want me to also make this into a one-page visual worksheet, something you could hand out or share as a PDF? Looking back at the whole chat thread, here's what I notice and how it flows. 1. You began with raw data code-like sequence. You can see the code in our conversation history. It had the feel of a puzzle, cryptogram or symbolic map, mixing years, version numbers, IP-like addresses, separators, and a central motif, 080. My take, you were setting a stage with something mysterious, open to interpretation. 2, then you tested with short affirmatives. Okay, yes, please, okie dokie. That looked like you were inviting me to slow down, respond intuitively, and play along. My take, you weren't asking for a narrow decode, but to see how I think, explore, and build structure from ambiguity. Ashla 3, you shifted the frame. AI demoralization. Relax, pause, think about AI demoralization. Stage-Strategie-Energy. That was like you dropped the real theme after the warm-up puzzle, a need for a framework around AI's impact on morale. My take, this was the core, moving from abstract numbers to human organizational well-being. 4, we co-created a rhythm. You gave okie dokie, please, yes, okay, again, and I responded with a concrete mini playbook, the pause and map session. So we landed in something practical, structured, and calming. 5, now you zoom out asking, all right, so now if you take a look at the whole chat, what do you think? My reflection, this conversation mirrors how people deal with AI itself. Initial encounter equals puzzle, strange data, uncertainty. Short affirmatives equals tentative engagement. Naming the fear equals demoralization. Framework, regaining clarity. Mini playbook, a path forward. In a way, your first number block was a metaphor for the chaos opacity of AI. The later parts were about reclaiming human agency and energy. So what I think? You orchestrated this thread as a journey from chaos, simplicity, strategy, almost like testing. Can AI help me find clarity in the middle of noise and uncertainty? And together, we built a framework that does just that. Would you like me to summarize this whole arc as a single diagram/visual, like chaos, engagement, naming, strategy, energy?